Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Chance of TBD for our very, very special campaign wrap-up of the Gimm Awakening. Tonight's bombastic daredevils tantalize brilliant discoveries, tactfully brilliant decisions to bring detailed testimony, beloved descriptions to bring delight to all of you. So I'm going to give this moment for everyone to kind of introduce themselves, introduce them as their characters, who they were, and what they did exactly for the Gimm Awakening. We'll start with the man of the hour, the brains behind all of this operation, Janders.
What's
Hi,
up?
darling?
How you doing? Name's Janders, that's for sure. Hi, you can find me on TikTok at Janders42. I was the GM of this lovely, lovely cast. Unfortunately, Hello Operator is not with us tonight. Rest in peace. He's not dead, by the way. He's not.
You can't start that way.
But yes, it was wonderful DMing this awesome session. Go right ahead.
If you can't tell, we are a chaotic crew. You never know what you're gonna get with A Chance of TBD, and you started it the best way. Let's start with the three players who have been able to join us. We are going to popcorn around. I'm gonna go with Justin. If you would like to introduce yourself and where they can find you.
Sure. I'm Justin, also known as @Jheros1 on TikTok and Instagram. I played Cassius Nevann. He was a Rude Knight fighter, Frog Prince in Gimm Awakening, and he was very fun to play.
He had
and then,
grippers.
yes,
He did have those sticky grippers.
This is lovely. We were gonna get it at least once in the stream, so. And then we'll go back. We'll go up to our favorite Candyman, our little gingerbread pirate himself.
Is that me?
Yeah, you. That's you.
Oh, that's just me. That is me. Hi, everybody. I'm Alex, Alexander, the D&D dad on TikTok, and I played Gerard Ginger Hollywood. He's a gingerbread cookie pirate rogue.
I didn't know that his last was Hollywood this entire
Yeah, I know. It never came up. I mean, I think I said it a couple of times. Yeah, it came up like a couple of times.
We'll dive into that surname in a little bit. And then last but not least, our lovely little possum were-human friend. First of their
Hello.
kind.
Excuse me, I come from a clan of possums, okay? But hello, I am Sin. I go by sensationally.me or sensationally.me on most forms of social media. And I played Scran O'Possum, who was our favorite little scramble man who did not cause any chaos.
Was definitely the
Never.
no chaos whatsoever. Was
If
the moral
anything.
compass.
Yes, I always listen to my fairy god uncle, Larry, who, again, is not dead, but on a spicy camping trip, is what I was told to share.
Alrighty. So just as we dive in, for those of you who are either new to the stream, this is our campaign wrap-up of the Gimm Awakening, which was our lovely 6-week session that if you enjoy what we're talking about now, and of course this will be filled with spoilers, but you can go and watch those 6 episodes up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So let's dive on in. The main question to get everything started, what was your favorite moment? What was the one moment of these 6 weeks that just still rings true for you, you still think about, and yeah, so what was that one moment? If there's one moment, if there's multiple, and we're just going to kind of popcorn around, so whoever wants to go first.
So many good moments, though. I mean, can you really just narrow it down to one? You're making it too
You really
tough.
can't. What's at
Yeah.
the top of
think-
your head?
Top of my head, honestly, has to be Janders ripping his face off.
Yes, I was gonna say
that's-
that.
I
is
still
in
have the
my
skin.
brain. There it is.
Ew.
Gross.
We don't need that.
It's a prized
We're okay.
possession on my performing shelf.
Wait, not only was that
Ew.
moment gonna live rent free in my brain, now that thing is gonna live in my brain rent free forever now. Thank you for that.
Thank you, thank you. If I may take the next helm, I was gonna say the same thing, but why stick with that? I think a two-parter. The Land of Awe was really fun. It was just a fun, silly time for all of us. One, Mr. Kurosawa tricking you all, and you all walked into it. And I was like, okay, sure, this is great. But I also liked the stupid moment of building up this. I mean, we could talk about it because it's not the actual campaign. Goku coming out of the crystal, powering up, starting, going, "Hi, it's me, Carrot." just that moment I've watched a couple of times. I don't know why it's so funny to me. I make myself laugh. What can I say?
Oh,
good one.
yeah. I mean, the Land of Awe was both, it was a great build-up, and then also the end of it held such a key moment in the campaign, too, that, like, that entire arc. But other favorite moments that y'all had?
I want to talk about the session 0 because I don't know if that counts.
Oh, it totally
Yeah.
counts. Anytime we
'Cause,
play
like,
together, it counts.
The not knowing what to expect going. So for those of you joining us in the stream, we played as this one of the 7 dwarves as a prequel to the main campaign. That session wasn't streamed or anything, but explains where the other 4 dwarves are that didn't appear in the stream. We played as different ones, and we unleashed Grimm onto the world, and we turned evil and had to fight each other PvP style, where half of us turned evil and half of us didn't. It was, and for a session 0, that was pretty intense, and that was sick as hell. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming.
If I can add on to it, my favorite part was that you were all, it wasn't the typical 7 dwarves, it was different character traits.
Yeah.
So there was impulsive, zany, gallant, and flamboyant. And when you got hit with this dark energy and 2 of you switched, you went from being impulsive and zany to oh god, what was it? It was
I was
Envy.
anger.
anger
I think
and
it was
envy. Yeah, so what it was based off the 7 deadly sins. So
Can I-
which is why that
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say anger and hungry were there as anger and hungry, and not, dopey, happy Doc.
It was a nice twist.
Thank you.
And something that happened mechanically that I thought was unfortunate, but in a funny way, was that the 2 people who turned evil were the people who didn't turn were barbarians, and we were both playing people who didn't deal physical damage. So I was playing a Soul Knife rogue who did psychic damage against a barbarian, and Sin was playing a wizard who didn't deal physical damage.
Yep.
And so the barbarians didn't really get to use their take half damage thing much.
Yeah, not really. And not the first time Sin has tried to kill me in this campaign, by the way.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, I think it really showed our play styles because Justin's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna attack," and I was like, "Wait, can I cast a spell to cause max damage here?"
Yeah, I think you messaged Janders and be like, "Hey, should I do this?" And he's like, "Yes, absolutely." I think that's what ended up happening.
Mhm.
You're like, "Yeah, absolutely, go for blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back him in the face."
Kill him. And then I
of
killed
course,
you
I'm
both.
right next to you. Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, "I cast this at the highest level I can immediately."
Oh,
I think
my
I
God.
think we should go back and relive that so people can actually see the chaos that happened.
It's
feel
on the
like-
docket.
Ooh.
We need a prequel. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
A prequel. Hmm.
Of Grimm getting locked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We need a prequel.
That might have to be a on the docket for potential
Yeah.
campaigns in the future. I have other ideas that will blow Grimm Awakening out of the water. I'm gonna be serious. Just wait.
Oh boy.
Sin, actual campaign. Do you have a
Oh,
favorite moment?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I think because like one of my things in the Land of Awe was like, I don't know how the fuck we're getting out of this jail cell. Like after we've just completed the course, and just having Miko pop out was so hard. Like I think the reason it sticks out was like I was like so invested, and then I almost just like started cackling in that very moment. It's like I don't know how to respond. And I like it's one of the things I love about Janders' like DMing style is just like you never know what you're getting. And it's like in the best way possible.
Thank you. I pride myself on chaos.
That's why
I want to also add a little one. The catapult across the lava. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should not, after I re-looked up catapult after that stream, should not have let that happen. But I was like, it's the second to last session. Who cares?
See, I know
gotta
when to
speed
ask
things
you for
along.
things.
Cool, you know.
It's more about knowing when to ask you for things.
You're right. You're not wrong at all.
Yeah, there's definitely like so many favorite moments that like as someone who watched the stream and was like involved with all of y'all, definitely Alex, you said it with the reveal in that first episode of the physical reveal of Grimm. Matt, like together with the vocal and like the visual that Janders you had with the reveal of the Mad Hatter to Grimm was fantastic. And then also Sin, the reveal of the werehuman.
It's like Dave or something.
The fact
right?
that you were not always a possum. You were not always an awakened possum, where we are typically seeing a human that whenever the moon is full turn into this were creature. You are now the reverse. Where once the moon is out, you were a human.
I don't know, did we ever discuss that? Like, did you
No,
get bit by a human? Like, I don't think we ever talked
In the
about
back of Denny's parking
like-
lot.
Definitely.
Like,
You guys
Batman
decided
Batman.
that.
Yeah, operator made the joke.
Maybe it's Wayne. Was it like the name we came up with? Wayne? Like, did some guy named Simon like bite you in the back of the Denny's? Like, did we figure that out?
So, okay, you guys never figured it out.
Backstory here.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say I saw the poster that day before stream that Janders made, and I saw the little moon, and I was like, he's not gonna do it today. He's not gonna do it this episode. But like, so I like Scran grew up wanting to be like a race car driver, and there's two separate leagues. There's like the human league and the league for like other woodland creatures, because we weren't good enough to be like in the human league. But Scran would still like hang around and stuff and just like kind of steal parts and try and learn to build like a little race car. And one day, like a champion driver came out like super drunk out of, I think we said it was a bar or a tavern, and just like
Denny's,
bit
yep.
Scran really hard. And ever since then, Scran has sometimes turned into a human. But Scran's secret goal is to one day outrace that human.
I am really sad that we didn't have enough time to go to the other lands, but like Land of Thunder I was so stoked about, because it was like, think Hot Wheels racing, right? Typical Formula 1 of those small cars that zoom around like very twisting tracks. No longer. There's no track of that entire civilization. It is now a hell-bent desert that's like essentially Mad Max. Like tanks for cars and big old spikes and catapults and things coming off of them. But we never got to experience that because we just ran out of time.
So what other lands did we not get to? It was Land of Thunder and what?
Dinos.
Dinos?
Land of Dinos. Then the Land of Shadows, which was gonna be... That one was hilarious. Because it's the Land of Shadows. It's vampires and swamp creatures and monsters alike. But as soon as Grimm's disease essentially infected them, it was gonna go full Mean Girls, like Pretty in Pink, like everything is brightly colored and everybody is just sassy and like very what's the word I'm looking for? Making side comments to you, essentially. Passive aggressive.
So, we talked about a prequel. What about a sequel where Grimm comes back and does that again, so we can experience that?
We'll just do this campaign over again. We'll just go the other way.
You're the other group that split off.
Right.
Yeah. So you're Snow White and you're Miko and the Blue Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
then you
pretty much-
die.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Nah, alternate timeline.
What would happen? I definitely had a question that just flew out of my head. But yeah, so you started talking about the other lands that we missed. And so we missed the Land of Dinos, the Land of Shadows.
And one other, technically.
Yes.
That was never on the map, which was the Land of Clouds. Where another individual in the group was actually from.
Yeah, which leads us
Cassius.
to like the first the second reveal of the night. We never got to your backstory, Justin.
Yeah.
You revealed it with us.
Mm-hmm. I sort of revealed it at the very end of the finale, but it wasn't like officially confirmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cassius, the Frog Prince, was not originally human. He was turned into a frog, but started out as a Prince of the Giants. The Jack and the Beanstalk fairy tale, that he's that giant. Mm-hmm. But as he was falling down the beanstalk after chasing Jack, he fell down from the beanstalk. Something happened. He woke up and he was a frog. And he tried to get back to being giant. But he knew that he couldn't climb up the beanstalk again because the giants were very prejudiced against tiny people. So they would probably get attacked on sight. And went to some like magic people, like witches and fairies, whatever, and they told him like true love could break the curse. But he just kind of been vibing around as a little frog, and that's why he had like giants magic and runes and stuff like that, because he's part giant and he still had that magic in him.
That's awesome. And this actually kind of like leads into first question from the 5% Chance community and a friend of yours, Justin. So this comes from Skelly. They say hi. So for the others in the group, how did each of you interpret the prompt of fairy tale for your character choices? And for Janders, what made you go more with the kitchen sink approach than the whole Grimm fairy tale approach? Like what?
Would you all like to take that first, or would you like me to go first? Because I know exactly what I'd say. Sure.
You go first.
I went for the kitchen sink approach because I think just going for fairy tales is fucking boring. That is the entire reason. I literally, because I've seen so many people, so many campaigns where people are like, we're going fairy tales, and it's gonna be like, and it can be fun still, but I'm an ambitious person. I like going above and beyond. I like figuring out what brings things together. And also, I came up with this idea when I was at Disney World in May. I was sitting in line for the Winnie the Pooh ride, looking at a map of Disney World, and I went, that's interesting. There's Fantasyland that's like all the fairy tales, but then there's Tomorrowland, there's Frontierland, there's different aspects that were part of my childhood, at least. And then I went, well, what if I just start toying with that? I mean, I was also into dinosaurs, so that's where the Land of Dinos came from. The Land of Candy was because people love candy as kids. I don't know. The Candyland, it's a very prominent, board game. And then Land of Thunder, because I asked a couple people, I was like, what did you like in your childhood? And people were like, racing. Other people said anime, and I went, that's done and done. I love anime. Other people, they were like cryptids and monsters and vampires. And I was like, this is just, I want to be able to represent more than just like the typical upbringing of like, parents sit down and read you a fairy tale at night and you get the nostalgia from that, but not everybody's gonna get the nostalgia from fairy tales. I want to broaden the horizons and add some diversity into the world. Keep it interesting. That is literally like, it's just because I didn't want it to be boring.
I mean, yeah, I think that's also like what made your world feel so so word that I'm looking for. Inclusive, but also diverse and relatable. Is that there was something from every world there like that kept us all wanting to know what land you were going to next. Because seeing the full map of everything, of like, oh, when are we going to see this? When are we going to see that? And seeing the aspects of the things that we all grew up with. Because, I mean, I 100% went home every day after school as a 6 to 10-year-old and watched Dragon Ball Z before Sailor Moon came on. Mostly because I was on first. But like, and then grew up with Candyland and Willy Wonka, but also grew up with the Disney fairy tales. To then also, whenever we grew older, learned of the true Grimm book, which just like made it so fantastic. But Alex, what about you? How did you interpret the prompt? Because you were the swashbuckling gingerbread man.
I was. I think I bounced through quite a few character ideas, actually, when I was kind of coming up with this. And it was kind of funny that we all kind of picked these like unique characters, and then we all ended up being extremely small to begin with. Like, none of us collaborated on that. I don't even think Sid and Operator, I don't even think you guys collaborated on your size. Maybe they did. But it's kind of, I think we went through all this. I think me and Justin, I think we had this similar idea of like the big bad wolf at one point.
Yeah.
But like,
we both wanted to be like Path of the Beast Barbarian, Big Bad Wolf. I think exactly that is the same idea. I
think we picked the same idea, and I was like, oh, I got like 4 or 5 character ideas. Like, here they are. And you were like, oh, I got this one too. And then we ended up picking different ones to go with. But for mine, I was just like, I kind of want to just do something fun because I always DM. And so this is one of the few times I've gotten to actually be a player, which is fantastic. And I was like, I want to play something fun. I wanted to play a rogue. I wanted to be small and nimble and be able to hide and sneak through things. I think everybody else is going to be able to come with me. And I've wanted to play a pirate for a long time. I was like, this is a great opportunity. Let's just throw it all together.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Hearing your guys' backstory really makes me feel I got to step up my game. Like all these twists and turns, and he's like, oh yeah, he's a pirate, and he's a gingerbread cookie, and he's small, and he likes to give stuff out to people. And you guys are like, oh, they're a wear thing, and there's actually a giant disguise, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I gotta step up my game around these people. Like, what is going on?
Okay, to be fair though, I think that you can still do so much and do so many interesting things with like a base thing, right? It's like that whole trope of people who are like, I don't want to play a human fighter because that's boring. But it's really like the limit of your imagination, right? Because like we still ended up like chroming you up halfway through.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
you're one of those like fancy cookies.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great to begin with, but man, chroming them up with a junkyard icing is fantastic.
Yeah, you were that you're that gourmet cookie that cost $20.
Yeah.
It can only be delivered with a $15 delivery fee.
It was like that moment, the hyperfixations crossed for Sin and I.
The anime?
Yeah.
Sin, because I think you to took the fairy tale aspect to almost the extreme in a weird way, in a great way. Because we all grew up with talking animals, so really not that much.
Here's the thing. I like almost, if you ask Janders, first of all, fake proposed to me. Didn't even go through with it.
Huh?
So I met Janders in person, and then he had to tie his shoe in a park, and this lady ran up to us super excited and was like, oh, it's not a proposal. Disappointing. But then, like, immediately after, Janders was like, hey, I'm going to be doing, like, a fairy tale based game. Like, would you be interested in joining? And I immediately, like, since that day, that whole car ride, I was like, Janders, can I do this? Yes or no?
Because I think it started with you wanting to be a person that turned into a possum, and then you went, oh, wait, what if I am a possum that turns into a person? And I went, I love it even more.
So... a thing, because I also don't get to play that often, which I thought it was wild that Janders did an all forever DM party. Fantastic.
Yeah.
My approach whenever I make characters is I actually pick a time of year that I want to represent in a character. So the kind of time of year I did or wanted to do was that kind of first frost, where it's like, it's really off-putting, but if you take those slow moments, there's really interesting times and things that you can notice about this character. Which is why I wanted to make like a very garbagey-based character. And I kind of combined it with my favorite part of fairy tales, which is like all my favorite Disney movies, for example, were all about transformation. So like I really loved Mulan. And like as a kid, I really did enjoy Cinderella. And it's like those little things where like the transformation gave you almost like a strength, and I kind of wanted to twist that and be like, what if it was the opposite, and it was the thing that made your character the most self-conscious and the thing that they hated the most about themselves, and kind of twist it into that. And I think kind of like that's where the overcompensation comes from for Scran, where it's like, I just want to build things. Yeah.
You also like drew out Scran's first soapbox card too. Like all these old, like I got to see so many concept drawings of Scran, and I was like, this is amazing. Like I know exactly who Scran is.
Yeah. I get really obsessed with character creation because I don't get to play that often.
Oh, we love it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like a thing with some of our games where we have so many people that come in that are forever DMs. I'm like, it's my turn to play. Yes, let's go. And I'm really glad that this has brought all of y'all together. Quick thing for the chat. If y'all have any questions for the DM or characters in general, players in general, feel free to put them in the chat and we will answer them as we see them. We do have a few questions from our audience, from our pre-recorded link.
Can I answer the question before we move on to the next?
Yes, of course. And this is also me like finding the question to ask next. So
no, Cassius, you don't get to. Sorry. Yeah.
For making my character, at first I wanted to play the Frog Prince because and also I'm not a forever DM. I'm a forever player. I only DM like one campaign consistently, pretty much. And so I'm happy to play more. But I knew I wanted to make a Frog Prince from the somewhat start. I just didn't know what the twist should be. Because I didn't want it just to be regular Frog Prince. I felt that was also like boring. And then I had the idea to combine multiple fairy tales into one character. And the one that came to mind that were just like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I need to do that, was the Jack and the Beanstalk and Frog Prince. So I think I was talking to some friends, and one of them was like, what if you weren't human originally? What if you're something else? And then I was like, what other fairy tale creatures aren't human that are also like somewhat like well known? I'm like, oh yeah, giants exist. And I even asked Janders at one point, like, if this somehow happens in the campaign, which I don't expect it to, but if my character finds love, would he turn back into like a cloud giant? Because he lives up in the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And Janders okayed it. And it didn't happen in the campaign, but it's good to know that if it did. You'd have a cloud giant ally.
Can I add on to that too? Because I thought we went through, at least me and you went through a couple of different characters that you sent me too, or ideas. You're like, I was thinking about this, and then you the next day would get another thing. No, so that's scrapped. How about this and this? Also, can you give me ideas? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And then when you sent me the one you went with, Cassius, I was like, that's it. This is amazing. This is incredible. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, I try to find that whenever I try to make a new character, I try to find that spark that makes me excited for the character and seeing where he goes and seeing like how I'm going to eventually play the character. And just if I get excited about a character, I'm gonna have fun playing it. And I got that with Cassius, so I was happy about the creation process in that aspect.
I can help a little bit with operators if you guys like want.
Oh yeah, no. Give us the tea of operator.
It's because we sat down and we had a call because we decided to have like a shared backstory. But he wanted to do like kind of like the uglier side of fairy tales and how like, you know, you can still get things done just because it's not like the pretty characters, right? Because it's always like the uglier characters that are like, oh, they're the bad guys. And I forget what it was. Where it was like Teen Snack Hunger Force something. And he was like, I look like that dude. And I was like, ew, stop. But it was just like he wanted a lot of his to be from like the wholesome emotional stuff that comes from characters where like that's how Scran became awakened was Larry just really wanted a friend, and his magic and his wish and hope for that created the awakened possum that is Scran. Neither of them know this, but that's what happened.
That's super sweet.
Also,
Larry,
when Larry was like in Fairy Academy or whatever, and they were handing out wands, the wand was for a fairy god ogre, which is why it's a club.
And backwards and upside down.
Backwards and upside down, which is where the wild magic came in, which never really happened until I was like, yeah, just do it for fun.
Yeah, because he didn't rage that often.
No, didn't happen.
No,
I mean, to be fair,
he
when
ever
most of the
rage?
combat was there, he did.
I mean,
okay.
When most of the
Whenever we had
combat
he
happened,
raged.
he wasn't there, or he just picked people up off the ship and dropped
Yep.
them.
He just went, oh, goodbye.
That's happened so many times to me, where it's just like, I run some type of combat on transportation, and all my players immediately go, I'll just push him off. And I go, why do I not think about this?
Actually, that was going to be my question is like, did you think about that possibility of having a flying character with a decent strength not being able to pick them up?
You think this through, Janders?
I've run pirate ships and things like that several times. I forget about that mechanic every time because I go, people will want to shoot cannons, people will want to cast magic, and then it's like, no, I just throw them off the side. It's so much easier.
Players coming in with logic, man, just ruining the game.
Yeah.
After
Eddie
seeing
DM'd in
Operator,
chat. Remember that.
after seeing Operator do that in game, I was like, wait, I can do that too. I
Yeah.
just started following him.
He started doing that, and that happened exactly with one of my campaigns. One of my players was like, why don't we just toss them over the side? And then I had to figure out a mechanic for them to save themselves or climb back up the ship and like do that. Like, it was just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting deja vu all over again.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like, I've
because
seen this.
the worst part is like I could have been like, yeah, and then they try to swim up and climb, but they're on a whirlpool. They're not gonna swim up from a whirlpool. They're getting sucked to the bottom.
Yeah. That'd be one heck of a strength check.
I don't even think it'd be possible.
DC 30?
You know what, viewers? If you think it's possible, take your phone out into the middle of the ocean, find a whirlpool, and try to swim up
Nope.
Record it for me, and then we'll decide.
Hey, nope. Let's not. Let's
We
not
don't
put people
endorse
into
that.
danger.
I endorse that.
Nope. Kibosh right now.
Who's gonna do it? Nobody's gonna go out in the middle of the ocean. Cut
I
to
will
Mr.
now.
Beast.
I will now. Goodbye.
Janders
It's all
approves.
right.
I'm doing
My
it.
brain's
Let's go.
also now going.
Let's
Like,
go. I'll
wait,
meet
do
you.
whirlpools really
You wanna-
exist?
You take the Pacific, I'll take the Atlantic. We'll meet in the middle.
Janders, I'll pick you up. I'll
Let's go.
drive down to Pittsburgh. We'll
Let's
cut
go.
through. We'll go
Let's
to the
go.
point and swim there.
You're gonna
There we
pick
go.
them up and then put them into the ocean, into the whirlpool.
Yeah.
Remember at the beginning of the stream whenever I said that we are a chaotic crew,
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
and also
That's
my
pretty
mind
normal to
literally
me.
just went, "Wait, there's a whirlpool in Canada." It's like I have pictures of it.
What?
There's one you can. It's in Niagara.
Oh,
You can like
Oh.
do like a little like weird ferry
you
boat.
guys can just have
thing,
Niagara.
like-
It's fine.
Yeah,
You guys just have all of it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Do you guys even consider
So,
that part of Canada?
Maybe on to the
So
next
wait, I have
question.
questions.
Do you guys want to get coffee after that?
Yeah.
Y'all.
Listen,
All
Janders
right.
wanted to do shots, okay?
Oh God. Oh, I will continue to say how much I love you guys. You're great. Next question to quell this chaos. This comes from our friends at Invoicing Karma. Is there a specific spell or ability that you didn't get a chance to use? If so, what were you saving it for?
Yeah, power word death. You know, if people got on my nerves, I was just gonna break that out. Miko was ready. He is just gonna take people out one by one.
Oh God.
I'm gonna pull out Scran's sheet.
I think I ended up using everything that I had. Did I use invisibility on?
You did use invisibility.
I used Ray of Sickness. I used all my runes.
Yeah.
I poisoned people a lot with my racial trait, or attempted to. The cloud rune was really funny when I just could negate crits on people.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Negating
So good.
crits
So
on.
good.
It's one of the one things that I love about playing a cleric that is within. Is it the death cleric?
Death domain.
Or yeah, the death domain. That after a certain level, you can just like within 30 feet negate a crit
I
as
know
one
what
of your
you're-
reactions.
I know what you're talking about. I don't think that's death. I think it's another one. Grave.
Well,
It's grave.
Grave. Yes,
Yep.
same thing.
Thank you, chat.
They're very similar names. I'm why
Yeah.
the devil did like that.
Yeah.
But
Oh, very
Yeah.
similar, yeah.
Yeah, I'm part of the dying domain. It's not quite death, but it's almost there, you know.
It's not even quite. It's like in between Twilight and Death, really.
Yeah,
It's
you
like right, like as it starts to get dark, like that little split second right there. That's my sweet
Every
spot.
morning I do death saving throws to make sure I wake up.
God, that's metal as hell.
Zane, I feel like you have something to say
brutal.
based on actually answer that question.
So it was more homebrewed, right? It's like
Yeah.
Janders let me use the edge runners as like his cyberpunk edge runners, and he let me chrome up Ginger, and I was so sad that there was never a chance for Ginger to use that.
No, I was like, I was looking for an option or like opportunity to
The
do it.
candy
Because
devastation.
Janders hates us. I'm sorry. I just wanted to go into psychosis, really. I just wanted to see if Scran had like the guts to not go crazy.
The can devastation. Oh my god. Oh.
So that's been a question that I've been holding on to. Because I remember watching and you having to roll for certain things for psychosis.
Yes.
Where did that come from? What is that from?
So
Oh.
there's a popular show out there in game called Cyberpunk 2077 or Cyberpunk Edge Runners. If you chrome up your body, or as the kids are saying nowadays, chrome the fuck up. If you do it enough, there's something called cyberpsychosis. It's kind of like a I don't want to say disease necessarily, but it's essentially
It's think dementia that's been put early onset because you have too much tech plugged into your brain.
yes, and you start to go a
neurology.
little bit bonkers, and that might have happened to Scran.
Just a tiny bit.
So were there moments where that actually like you failed the save and
Nope. they passed.
No,
every
you-
single time? Yeah.
So good.
I think
Well, what
I
if
think the
happens?
lowest.
Yeah.
Don't put me on the spot. I had ideas back
Oh,
then.
wait, I didn't know if it was-
forgot.
Yeah. So-
I think I was just gonna
so-
make whoever had the candy chrome or whoever it was chromed up attack somebody they weren't attacking, something like that.
I thought
Um,
it was something Scran would have to do.
Yeah, it was that too.
Yeah.
I think it depended on the moment. I was gonna just
Like that was gonna be my second question. Is like, what happened if it failed?
I'm
Who did?
You're gonna, you know what? I'll be a little transparent with everybody since we're not. It may sound like I prepare a lot. Sometimes I just say yes to things and I go, I'll figure it out in the moment.
Knew it.
Like I said, guys,
Yeah.
it's like I said, if you become friends with Janders, you just need to know the critical moment to ask him.
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
For
I will
those in
if-
the audience, I was like pitching it to Janders multiple times after session.
It was
like, Hey,
it was right after I watched the show too, and I went, "Why not? It was a good session right before this. We have 2 sessions left. Why not?"
Wait, so this was like mid game. Okay, so that's what I thought too. It was like, I'm like, am I just not picking up to this?
No, it was like after the 3rd session, they were
Yeah.
like, imagine this. And I went, I am imagining this. You're right. Let's do this. No, I have no self-control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny note with that too. I think it was before you started pitching. Then just messaged me and she goes, I was like, what's your intelligence? Like you just asked me that question. I'm just like, I think she'd attacked me the session before, hurt me the session before. I'm just like, why? Like this is mid game, and she's just like, I'm just curious. Just wanted to know why.
It was
And then you finally
right,
told me. I thought you were like, I'm like, what is she gonna do to me?
well, it was right after I had that look because I noticed that the audience commented on it too. It was right after I was digging through pockets, and Janders had said you found 2 pounds of candy, and I made a face, and everyone in the audience was like, "What's that mean?" And I was like, "It's fine. We'll be fine. It's good."
What's going on in their head? What are
I
they
got
thinking?
I got the same text message from Sin during the game being like, how smart are you? And I'm like, 10 intelligence. And they're like, oof, okay. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why? And they're like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, what are
Yeah,
you planning?
yeah.
And they're like, shush. And I'm like, tell me your secrets.
Oh,
and they're like, I
God.
shall not. We went back and forth for a while.
Okay. At least it wasn't just me then. Okay, cool.
I also asked operator, so like it's equal. I treat you all
Oh,
equally.
everyone
What about
got the
Miko?
question.
Miko didn't get the
Special.
question.
I would say, I'm like, well, I don't feel
Eh.
special anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. I just get leftover candy is what happened. All right.
But
How dare you? I had different
God.
objects in my bag for each of you. Cassius was gonna get fabric. Okay.
Ooh. What kind of fabric?
So Scran has collected fabrics from like many people over time. Guaranteed. Scran stole a bunch at the party too. Operator was gonna get a bunch of junk and garbage because Scran's like, he's used to it. He wasn't gonna get anything special. It's just like the slimy rope I used on him. It's fine. So you all had
Okay.
unique suits.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit more special.
All right. So, new question, same person. Invoicing Karma had a lot of questions.
We love that.
We really love a good question. So this is a fun one. If you had to swap characters with anyone at the table, who would you swap with and why?
Immediately Cassius, because I want grippers.
Why does that have to be the reason? Come on.
But also, as someone who is a bard main, I fully fall into the whole like, if I play any charisma caster, paladin, warlock, anyone with charisma, I will automatically start flirting with people. The fact that Cassius is the only one flirting with princesses, I need that. Thank you. That's my role.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more for character, not stats wise. It was more for like for your reasoning for switching with Cassius.
No matter how, because if you ask Janders, I actually rolled quite well for the stats.
Mhm.
Even if I roll well, I will always put myself at some kind of stat disadvantage because I find roleplay so much more intriguing than the stats.
Mm-hmm. Oh, That's awesome. I love all of y'all. Justin, who would you switch with?
I think for the comedic value alone, the fairy god uncle looked very fun to play. I think I also tend to lean more towards martial classes than spellcasters recently, anyway, because I love magic, but it's very satisfying to go bonk.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I think the fairy god uncle operated a great job with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Alex?
If only he was here to accept the compliment.
Rest
He's
in
here in
peace.
spirit.
Nice knowing him.
He's not dead.
Yeah.
Told him not to go to that whirlpool.
Oh, God. Yep. Alex, who do you have someone that you would switch with?
Ooh, you guys did such great characters, to be totally honest with you. And while I do love my own, I gotta say, I think I probably would have done Scran. Mainly for the roleplay, the tiny grabby hands, and just the gritty emo, like, punk aspect of it. Like, that just would have been so much fun to play. Because, like, that, and I'm just like, oh my god, my high school days are coming back to me.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You're muted.
Sorry. Was Scran the only caster? Is something I'm realizing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
He was.
I was
think I
the only
realized that early
healer.
on.
Dang.
And
Dang.
I feel like I brought that up with somebody. They're like, hey, you're the only caster. We're all just a bunch of marshals.
Oh, dang.
And that's okay.
You guys had magical stuff. I know you guys are doing like wild, like I think we had wild magic and you had the runes, and I'm over here like I got special gingerbread daggers.
I think everyone had some sort of magic with them, but Scran was the only actual caster.
I got magic halfway through the campaign with my feat that I took.
Yeah. But you also had your runes from like day one.
Yeah.
So like,
It's not magic. It's I guess.
tomato.
It's like a kind of magic.
Janders, I'm going to ask you the hardest question ever. I'm going to ask you to pick your favorite child.
Miko.
Who would you play?
I would play Miko.
Yeah.
I've already thought about playing
answer.
Miko.
Oh, Miko was up for grabs. Hang on, I want to change my
Yeah,
answer.
excuse you.
Hold on.
I would play Miko in a heartbeat. As an actual player, yeah, no, that is. Here's the thing. I went into this campaign thinking Commodore Crunch, this insane pirate that gets fucked up off of sugar all day, was going to be my favorite. This character I threw in randomly. I didn't plan for Miko to be like a big character, and as soon as he invited Scran to play cards under the table, I was like, I love this little raccoon. I love this creature. I love them. And they just kept, popping up during it, and I was like, no, I'd play this. I would say player characters. I'm a spell-based person. I love spells, so I'd have to pick Scran. Because I am not a martial player. I don't enjoy it as much. Plus, I've never played an artificer, so it'd be interesting.
Actually, this was my second time ever playing an artificer. It was wild.
And now you're playing what, like 17?
I'm only playing my 5th now. It's fine.
So, now that you just brought this up, as someone who has played an artificer now multiple times, can you explain it to all of us?
Okay, so
Because I'm still lost.
So the way I see it, right, is like sorcerers kind of just randomly have this connection with the weave that exists in the world. Wizards have learned to channel it through study. Warlocks have it through like some kind of contract. Paladins are through like, I know people see it as religious, but I see paladins as like that pure commitment to something, and it's just like the pure energy of that full belief.
It's an oath.
Clerics, yeah, religion. Bards, I like to do it is just like they are so committed into like whatever skill or talent they have. Artificers, I think, are like sheer stubbornness of wizards, but instead of being like, I'm studying and adjusting to what needs to be done, I'm going to make you work for me. So
Okay.
if a wizard were to do it, it's building that coil around the wires. Whereas an artificer is more like, I'm going to fucking rewire this and clamp on some stuff to do the energy I want to do.
All right.
Scran's approach, though, was mostly fairy dust is what keeps it going. Like, that whole, like, fairy tale, like, I believe, so it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I've always
Clap and they live kind of.
I've always seen artificers as like, you know, wizards are like, this is mystical, powerful energy, and if we study it, we can harness it. Whereas like artificers in my head are like, no, there's a reason for it, and if we put 2 and 2 together, it'll make magic. So it's kind of like a scientific thing. Granted, I know there's also different types of artificers now, so I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, Scran was an armored artificer, so a lot of their stuff was like the utility of the suit. I've come to realize I really love like the artificers that use guns. It's great. It's fantastic. I love being a human cannon. It's fun. I don't know. Like I like them enough. I'm not smart, so I don't like playing high-end characters. I'm very much a bard. Like I've played every bard subclass, I'd say 3 times at least.
Dang.
I love bards.
Oh.
I've played 5 bards. I get it.
My longest running character, who for Invoicing Karma, he's the DM for that bard character's campaign. My longest running character is a bard.
See, I will one day play a musical bard. I've yet to play one.
What?
But one day. I'm sorry, it seems so boring to me. Like my favorite bard is named Inquiry. They think they're a wizard because they read books and the books give them like powers because they're a lore bard. Wizards read books, they get magic. I'm a wizard. I like making out of the box weird characters.
But you said you played each bard subclass 3 times at least.
But none of them say it has to be an instrument that is your spellcasting focus.
This is true, but you've never at once picked up an instrument as any of them?
I mean, they have them, but that's not their main talent. No.
Dang.
I really want to make a bard that inspires through cooking.
Oh.
That's a
Ooh.
good one.
Go
Yeah,
hospitality
like
halfling.
Ooh. Anyway, maybe we should head on to the next question.
I was like, sorry.
Welcome to the bard
I
talk.
probably do that, yeah. The bard talk.
I've always wanted to play a bard, but I am not as quick-witted as I would like to be. So next question. This might be a question that I already asked before, but I'm going to ask it again. Is there a trope that you tried to avoid or incorporate into your characters intentionally? This might be one of the ones that came up during the first one with Alex and Justin.
For me, yes. I was trying to be piratey, but not stereotypical pirate in a way. Like, I didn't want it to be over the top, Pirates of the Caribbean, all that type of stuff. The terrible Irish accent came out actually because of Operator. He kept saying Irish accent, and then my brain clicked over to that, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I guess I better just stick with it and try it. And I'm like, I apologize for anybody that has it, and that I just butchered that accent. I am so sorry.
No. We'll just blame Operator. He's not here to defend himself.
Okay,
it's fine.
This
Rest
is
in
true.
peace.
Operator, it is all your fault.
Best part of D&D, everything is fantasy.
Oh.
So it's a new accent.
It was the Land of Candy accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because in a different campaign that I'm playing, that's kind of how we're getting around that too. We have terrible British accents because we're going for like the Cockney thing, and we're like, it's okay, we're from the Feywild. Sure, sometimes it's Australian. It's the Fey.
Oh
Beautiful.
gosh. Yeah.
Justin, do you want to go?
Sure. For my character, I wanted to take the prince trope, but not be like the Disney princes where they're like, oh, I must save this princess. Oh, I must kiss this princess. This like, he had more self-respect than that. Like I remember early on in the campaign, the party was like Snow White, and like you're really like getting with it. I'm like, I'm just treating her like a person. That's it. So yeah, I didn't want to get too like romance involved. And also I had an idea for Janders. We talked about it, but not the rest. I didn't reveal the rest of the party. I had an idea, like if it comes down to it, the true love thing. I had an idea if it could get broken if like he was willing to like sacrifice himself to save everybody else as like act of like love for his friends or the world, and not specifically romantic love. But it didn't end up happening, so.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
The power of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute. Sin.
I think the only trope I really wanted to kind of play up, but with my own little thing, was like every Disney character has a little animal sidekick, and like a super devoted one. And like I figured, because like Operator and I were gonna be like, oh, this is my uncle. I was gonna be devoted, but in like the worst way, where it's like I'm still gonna do it my way, but I'm doing it to help you. So it's like the same thing.
Right.
It's just this crime. It's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine.
All right, cool. So another fun question. Actually, where is this? Answer this one first, and then I'll find the other extra fun question. What NPC are you most eager to speak to again, both in and out of character? So who do you want to speak to as your characters, and also who do you want to meet as like yourselves? Is how I'm interpreting this question.
Miko.
Yeah.
Miko.
Yeah, Miko. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to have a drink with that dude.
Oh yeah, Miko would be fun to.
Right? Like, just seems like a good time.
I mean, he was also just like such a great energy.
I would have a drink with the frat bro princes. I think it would be an interesting night.
You just want to flirt and feel validated, Janders.
That too. But I think it would be a fun night. Like if Prince Charming was a frat bro, I'd be like, yeah, have fun, and I would just sit in the corner and watch as chaos ensued and just watch him get shot down every time, and I'd be like, ha ha ha.
Do they have to be the same for your character and the same for you?
No, they can be different.
I think Scran would most like to see the Commodore again. Power has a whole ship. What do you mean? I would really like to get a drink with Grimm. Like, I know he's the bad guy, but I see this is purely for research, because like he's either someone who shares the same drink taste as me, or he's that pretentious douche who's like, I only drink this thing, and then he struggles to drink it all night, and I feel like I would just feel so good watching that.
Oh, he drinks
like he's
very dry red wine and like aerates it and sips on it the whole night.
Oh, I was gonna say he's probably like a Black Manhattan kind of person, because it sounds cool to order, but doesn't like it whatsoever.
Nah, dry red wine. Also, did we ever go over? Sorry, Cassius, you go first.
Sure.
Did you answer the question?
I agreed with Miko. That was pretty much it.
Did we ever go
drawing blanks.
over who was in the crystal at the end?
The princesses?
I thought it was.
No, I thought we
said Carrot.
I thought it was his brother.
It was Grimm's brother, because
Is the other Grimm?
Grimm fairy tales. It's not one person; it was two brothers.
I was wondering about that. I was like,
Yeah.
how come there's only one, but there's two brothers? Not...
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Did I make that up?
Oh.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it was his brother in the crystal. I just thought about that. It was his brother. Spoilers. Millennia before this, there was kind of a revolution of fairy tale creatures that crystallized both the brothers and sent them to two different places, one below the castle and one in the mines.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Because they thought as long as their power, like they were
Wow.
separated, they couldn't use power together to escape.
So was one better to release first than the other? Was it like
I mean, the dwarves.
the two
stumbled
sides of the same
upon it.
coin? Like one was more wholesome and the other one was more evil, and they just so
No, they were
happened to
both
release.
really bad people. I mean,
They both just sucked.
they're just.
There was no balance to
I mean,
these brothers.
it was they create. I mean, they were essentially creating characters to wreak havoc and destroy and things like that. So
I mean, with names like Grimm, what do you expect,
Yeah.
right?
nah, they were just, probably like D rank people, not F. They made a kingdom.
they did a thing.
Yeah,
They created a world.
Casually.
yeah.
Yeah.
As you do.
Speaking of creating, Janders, we already kind of touched on this of you creating your lands, and it just not being boring. Was there a favorite land that you actually created that we either saw or didn't see, or do you love your lands equally?
I like them all equally, minus Land of Dinos. I think that was the least creative one I came up with.
Yeah.
I did like, there was going to be a side character that was essentially Milo Thatch from Atlantis. In the Land of Dinosaurs, like an archaeologist. And then there was going to be like a car chase of like Jurassic Park style T-Rex following them. And as soon as you got too far away, tar pits would lash out with those same black tendrils and turn it into a dragon. I thought that would have been interesting. But that was pretty much it. I mean, it's Dino Land. I'm gonna be honest. Not much you can do with that besides, here's a iguanodon, here's a stegosaurus, here's a triceratops, here's a T-Rex. Like, there's not really much.
Did they talk?
I don't know, man.
What, the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
No, I didn't want them to talk. I like dinosaurs. I know a lot of dinosaur facts. I was a dinosaur kid. So like I can make it interesting in that way, but like fantastical like the other lands,
Okay.
Jurassic World.
See, like something from my childhood when you talked about the landed dino that like I was like envisioning with it. I wish I could remember the name of this toy. I had so many of them. I'm sure they're like stored away somewhere, but basically it was like these dinosaurs, and then they had like mech parts. So like, they have like parts that would go on the mouth that would make it like metal, and the T-Rex would get these like robot arms and like just these things to add on to all the different ones to make it there. And like that was something I envisioned from that would happen there.
That would have been cool.
Like,
that's not what I thought of at all, and I wish I did.
Has anyone
I feel
ever
like
heard of?
it was something super like easy, like Dino Metal or like something
something like that. Dino metal, I
weird
don't
that
know.
Nice came up with.
Yeah.
Digimon.
No, not
No,
Digimon.
it wasn't
No. Kind of similar with like some of the.
love War Greymon.
No, it was like literally. I don't even think it was a cartoon. I think it was literally just toys.
Yeah, it was.
But like I remember getting these toys because I would get like really good scores on like spelling, which is funny because I am terrible at spelling. But I would get good scores, and then I'd get to go pick out these toys. And there was no cartoon. I just thought they were cool because they were dinosaurs and they had like fighting parts to put on
I think
them.
it's
I was like, I can't remember what this is, and it's driving me crazy. Anybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about? Please help me.
Animorphs.
No, not Animorphs. I did read those books though. I did read those books.
Janders are killing me.
Thank you.
What I will say, has anyone ever heard of Dinosaur King?
Yes. Oh.
It's like Pokemon but for dinosaurs. It was great.
I remember.
Can I just
that
say-
thing.
When you did Land of Dinos, I thought it was going to be all about necromancy and fossils and stuff.
Oh.
Like, that's where my
Okay.
brain went.
God, y'all are so smart.
If it makes you feel any better, Janders, my rate didn't go anywhere. I just thought dinos. Now
Thank you. Nah, I wanted to have a whole Jurassic Park moment of y'all walking in and there'd be dinos going. You're like, ooh, and that would have been the extent of my creativity. Because then I came up with, what's the evil version of dinosaurs? Dragons?
See, I thought it was gonna be like the elephant graveyard in Lion King, where they have like all the skeletons all about, and then they would just come to life.
That's exactly what it was. How'd you read my mind? Quickly changes my notes.
Stop.
Oh gosh.
Alex, I have a friend who is not in the chat, but is saying, "Are you talking about the Rock'em Sock'em robots?" No, there's like an actual dinosaur one. I'm gonna send it to you in the chat.
What's the next question?
Oh my god.
Let's get to the next question. Let's get this last question.
I feel like Janders, you already answered this a little bit, but what character would you most? This is the imperative word. Most trust to take you out for a night on the town?
Oh, I would not
and
trust.
What would you do?
I would not trust the frat bro princes. I would not drink around them. I would sit in the corner. If we're talking PCs, probably Ginger. Ginger I would trust the most. Just because of Ginger's it's like Robin Hood-esque backstory that, give to the people. I feel like Ginger's a good character.
Well, thank you. I mean, that was kind of what I was going for with it.
Yeah.
Scran's offended.
No, Scran, I would pick up my drink and there'd be tinfoil in it.
I'm giving you extra stuff. Why are you complaining? The drink cost $8. I'm making it worth it.
Now it's $8.02.
If we're picking PCs and that aren't our own characters, I'm inclined to agree with Janders and pick Ginger.
Mm-hmm.
For NPCs, I think I'd go with Snow White.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll take you to a classy joint.
Mm-hmm.
I would honestly go with Cassius. Like, to go get a drink with. Like,
yeah.
Mostly just because I'm thinking of some of the interactions. I'm like, Ginger did get roped into some chaos. Whereas Cassius was like, okay, I'm gonna go help you guys a little bit in some of those moments.
We could probably all agree that Uncle Larry would probably take you to like the diviest of dive bars.
I'm sorry, this man snorts magic fairy dust. I'm not going with him anywhere.
That's true. That's something that we all knew, but never actually said to our stream.
It would be the diviest bar, but it would be like this is the height of luxury.
Yeah.
It'd be a cigar lounge in like the dingiest neighborhood.
Welcome to the Fairy Inn.
Also, as someone who doesn't drink, what is a dive bar? What does it mean by the diviest of dive bars?
It's very grungy. It's not a popular bar. It's like back alley.
So picture your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
The bar that just has the neon lights that are just like beer logos. You can see the like 40 years of smoke just like on the window. Like it's not frosted glass, like that texture is there.
Yeah.
Because of the indoor smoking.
Gotcha.
That is a dive bar.
Sometimes the best places to go.
They really
Honestly,
are the best places to go, though. Yeah. They're my favorite.
NPC wise, though, I would choose Carrot. I feel like he's chaotic, but he would protect me.
Oh yeah.
I feel safe with that man.
Oh, you know what? I changed my answer. I would pick the construction worker that pointed you to Mr. Kurosawa that loved his job. He was then, by the way, little lore for you, he was promoted to head of the construction company after Mr. Kurosawa was taken out.
Good for him.
Yeah, he
Good
turned
for
the
him.
whole company around.
So I do have one more question for all of you. The question that I actually probably should have started this campaign wrap up with but we are now great friends after the campaign. I kind of want to know how you all met. How did you all really become the small squad?
Can I answer this?
You can't.
As soon as I became mutuals with everybody, I immediately sent them a message and said, hey, do you want to do a campaign with me?
Liar. I said hi first.
You did.
And I said, want to go camping with me in the woods? I know you don't know me.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm down.
You know what? Probably the dumbest decision. But most people, I just went, hey, you wanna be in this campaign?
It worked.
I think I actually followed you first.
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is some good stuff. And followed, and I remember I was excited because you followed me back, and I was like, oh,
Oh my god.
little fangirl moment. I was like, oh my god, he's following
Yo.
me back.
Same. I was like, okay, let's say hi. Let's not lose this momentum.
Yes, please go on.
Social media at its finest.
Honestly, though, prior to this, I didn't know Alex or Justin until we started playing. I knew Operator and Janders prior to, but all from TikTok.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. I remember, Janders, you sent me a list of everyone who you asked to be in the campaign, and I immediately went to each person and followed them.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
I made sure before we got greenlit, I didn't tell anybody else who was in the campaign, because I also had 2 other people that were supposed to be in here, and they did not respond. So
they missed out.
Listen,
Wow.
they missed out. I'm just gonna say, they're lovely human beings, like they're wonderful people.
I also
Fun
got
enough, though.
Operator, so
Yeah.
Fun note though, I think Sin, I think you were the first person besides Janders that I messaged, and I believe our first interaction was right after we had discussed actual characters that we're doing. I think the first thing, my first communication to you was, okay, so if I'm a cookie, and I'm reading this word for word, if I'm a cookie and you're a possum, are you going to constantly try to take a bite out of me?
and I was like, well, hello to you too.
And then she said the little wavy thing.
I think, my first interaction with Sin through TikTok was like midway through the campaign that we were currently in. And she's like, or they're like, I forgot I don't follow you. I didn't follow you until now. And I'm just like, wow, I see how it is.
Okay, you guys caught me in my prime of like, I'm taking a whole ass break from recording. I haven't recorded shit since like June. Aside from like the little Scran bits where I'm like, okay.
Oh, it's just like a great moment to now also realize how fantastic Janders you are at reading people and finding people that will all cohesively work together in such a great campaign. And I applaud you, all of you, really, for everything in this 6 weeks. And as I'm saying this is kind of us wrapping up the end of the show, which is where the big announcement of we're not done seeing your faces here on 5% Chance. Quite honestly, we have some other shenanigans in the works. The first one will be starting off on December 1st for Janders running yet another game, another short form game.
Well,
for the holiday season.
Well, I quit actually.
You can't do this to me.
You know what? I'll take it up right here. I have the premise. It's fine. I'll cover it. We'll go.
So, there we are. December 1st, 2022. The holidays are ringing in, and what's that? Santa goes out for his yearly fly around the world to check up on the good boys, girls, and envies of the world. But what is this? Halfway through, his transmitter goes offline, off the radar. And after a couple of hours of waiting, he doesn't return. So who other than the Jingle Squad, a squad of highly trained elves, trained in reconnaissance and typical spy skills, must go out searching for Santa's last known location and bringing him back in order to save the holidays. So it'll be the Jingle Squad. Yeah. Follow us for silly shenanigans.
Yeah.
December 1st. Every Sunday. Every Thursday. Every day.
I have an idea for the acronym.
Oh, we'll do it afterward.
Oh.
We'll do it afterward.
Okay.
Don't give away that
cool.
I don't have the acronym yet.
No, we were for workshopping.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
those
we'll
are our newest. Those are our newest announcement of our newest game with some of these same familiar faces and maybe some other familiar faces moving forward from other games and other places. But as for tonight, I'll let y'all introduce yourselves one more time, where they can find you, and to keep up with future endeavors. So let's do this in reverse. So Sin, you're first.
Hello again. My name is Sin. You can find me on most of my socials, primarily TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as sensationally.me or sensationally.me. I post art and cosplay and makeup stuff and D&D stuff.
And up one, Alex.
So I am. You can find me at Alexander, the D&D dad, on TikTok. I make weird videos. I give DM tips and try to make people laugh.
And then down to the bottom, Justin.
I'm Justin, otherwise known as at Jheros1 on TikTok and Instagram. I make funny D&D skits. I try to post once a week. We'll see if I post more than that in the upcoming future. That's the plan for right now.
And then last but not least,
Hello. Once again, I am Janders, and you can find me at Janders42 on TikTok or JanderL42 on Instagram, where you can see me being hot on Instagram. But I just recorded a bunch of TikToks today, so I'm coming back. So get ready.
About time.
Yep, about time.
alrighty, all of y'all. If you want to keep up with our schedule on 5% Chance, check out all of our socials. Especially Twitter. That's where our up-to-date schedule is. That being said, you can catch us here next time this Saturday for the Dark Dominion. There is some chaos ensuing as each of the characters run our lovely Kripyik through some tantalizing tales. But as of that, I will check y'all next time. And as always, it's always TBD. Bye.